Workshop of the City Commission for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 will come to order. Please join me in silencing your cell phones. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Cleveland.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hartman.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McGurk.
Here.
Commissioner Perrine. Here. Thank you.
This is the public participation part of the program. Is there any citizen who wishes to speak? Please approach the podium. You will have 3 minutes to address the commission. Seeing none, public participation is closed. Let's move on to the workshop, the Administrative Services Mini Budget Workshop. We have a PowerPoint presentation. Director Eckroth, do you have that presentation? Are you ready? Thank you, Natalia. Come ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So, Mayor, Commissioners, we're here today to talk about administrative services. People who sit in those offices behind. So, that consists of City Commission, you, City Manager, City Clerk, City Attorney, Finance, and Human Resources. So, in our goals is really to support our staff, other departments, which is our internal customers, and our external customers, which is public, our citizens, other organizations, municipalities, state, federal agencies. So our current staffing is City Commission is 5 of you, City Manager 7.5, City Clerk 3.5, City Attorney 3 employees, Finance 9.5, and HR 3.5 people. So as you see, City Manager Office Division has added 3.5 people over last 2 years, but it's really part of reorganization. It's not like new people. Some came from general government. Just a small note. City Commission. So your budget for fiscal 23 is $307,000. And we did provide 3 years for your attention. Fiscal 21 is our actual, which is audited numbers. Fiscal 22 in these slides is amended, not actual, just for comparison purposes. And fiscal 23 is a budget. So slight decrease in your personnel is due to decrease in health insurance. We're trying to Blue Cross Blue Shield is a very expensive program to have, so we're trying to kind of, sunset that and move you to Florida Health Care. That's the reason for that. And we have slight increase in operating. It's more of a memberships, I believe, in your, and some promotional expenses went up. So City Manager, as I mentioned, we added 2 people from fiscal 22 to 23, plus we have big increase in personnel in general. So that explains big variance for personnel expenses from $600,000 to $1 million. So request for fiscal 24, replace drone, $1,500, digital marketing, $22,000. It's to communicate non-emergency city activities, print media, monthly citywide newsletter covering city highlights for $103,000. And I believe some of them come from you as a request for our City Manager Division. But media, it's for article features in magazines and radio, $36,000. Increase to travel for our public information officer, $3,500. And AutoCAD software, $2,000. And if you have any questions, or you want me to go through the presentation, and it's up to you.
Do I understand you like questions at the end?
It's up to you. Okay. I can do either way. So City Clerk, total budget for fiscal 23, $588,000. And you see increase is not significant. Was not much. I know we added half a position to this, to city clerk. So that explains some variance in personnel. And request for 24 is education and training, increase in membership dues and seminar for city clerk and assistant city clerk. And also city clerk would like to consider Granicus Vodcast software to replace paper ballot voting. I'm not sure how much that would be.
I don't have a final figure back, but we already have it in our software. It's the implementation.
That's right. Thank you, Kelly. City Attorney Office. So total is $535,000 as of now, fiscal 23. Request from City Attorney is a new position, Deputy City Attorney. The total cost is $166,000. That includes all the benefits and whatever comes with new position. And also software, hardware, $6,000, and office equipment. Finance. Our total budget for 23 is $1,153,000. Again, we have some increases, again, due to our personnel increase in fiscal 23. And some operating, we have a lot of different contracts, audit, different ERP, GASB 87, we have a lot of professional services we have to do, and just even to issue our annual comprehensive annual reports. We pay a lot of consultant services just to get information. So our request for 24, it's a new position, fiscal analyst. Total cost $82,000, includes all the benefits. And just like this previous slide, software, hardware, and office equipment total $12,000. Human resources. Total budget for 23 is $543,000. Human resources just add half a position in fiscal 23, so they're not asking for additional people, but they would like to have that software NeoGov. It's learning management system. So that cost actually for 2 years. We included here. So year one will be around $16,000. Year two will be $20,000. And I look at that software. It's a lot of governments use it. It's really robust. It's for human resources. It's really excellent tool to hire people. That's how people apply for jobs, which we currently have problems with. Just really looking for candidates. Also, that software has a lot of classes, business skills, Microsoft. I looked before presentation. They offer right now on the list about 1,400 classes they offer. And it will be very beneficial for us. Customer service, a lot of these things. So that would be all included in this price. And that would be it. So now I'm ready for questions.
Are there any questions from any member of the commission? Vice Mayor.
I have a few. Sorry. I just want to make it noted that ours is the only one that actually reduced this year over last year. So nothing that we did, but.
Of course it's something.
A bargain.
Yes.
A bargain for sure.
Yes. With regards to the city manager's budget, he increased his personnel by 2. Yeah, it's almost a $400,000 increase in personnel cost. Is that to play catch up for what we did this year?
Yes. Also, in previous years, if you remember, assistant city manager when Brian was here, sometimes we had that split with building department.
Okay.
So that's also contributed a big amount here. Right now, we're trying to get away with this and not to split position between departments. It's a nightmare from budgetary perspective and just.
Okay.
So that also contributed to this increase.
Okay. And then with the city attorney and also with finance, we're adding additional people, but do we have space for these people? Because there's nothing in here about office space.
We'll figure it out.
And I've been to your office and there's not a lot of extra space.
Actually, I do have an office.
Okay, but I know there's nothing down there in the city attorney's office, so, that's something to keep in mind also as we go through this stuff. We're still gonna, if we add people, we're gonna have to house them someplace.
Yeah, we always keep this in mind, but in reality, city is growing, we're adding positions, capital projects, we're adding more regulations, just from accounting perspective.
Right.
We have to be better each year with new Gatsby. I know you all had meeting with our partner from James Moore. It continually, we cannot keep up anymore, I will be honest, from finance perspective.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner McGurk.
Thank you, Mayor. Two questions. One is, I know you mentioned Blue Cross Blue Shield being expensive. Is HR going to present later in the year their budget or discussion about health benefits and all that, or was today the day?
We will get to this when we really start to load numbers in the budget, so I think we will address that.
Yeah,
Right now on Blue Cross Blue Shields, we have 8 people.
Right.
Currently.
So, and my concern with insurance has always been, we go
Yeah,
for
I
the
know.
cheap. And now, we had Blue Cross Blue Shield. I experienced the Florida healthcare. We went back to the Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I'm very touchy that I think that our employees and everybody should get good health care, not just say we have health care. And really my question is going to be, in the future, how is Florida healthcare actually doing as a provider? So I'm not asking you that question now, just in the future, as we go forward during the budget discussions and when benefits and health insurance come up, I'm gonna be a little bit aggressive at getting some input on how those plans are holding up, because you go for the cheap plans and sometimes you get what you pay for. So I'm just curious about that.
No, we definitely can talk about it with the HR director.
Yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to be aware of that as this comes down the pipe. I'm gonna be bringing that up a lot. And the other thing is, speaking about our finances, our auditor, I think our contract with our auditors are up next year?
Yes.
2024?
Yes.
When do we plan to start that process?
Yeah, I would like to start it sometimes in July, so it will give us enough time, at least a year.
Okay.
And it's Florida statute now. We have to do audit committee. Actually, James and I discussed it yesterday. But it will be up to commission which
Yeah. And I'm
route you
not-
will take.
Yeah, and this is more of a question. I don't mean to be putting you on the spot for this. I was just bringing this up. It was something that was on my mind.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think we could renew another, I think it's a 3-year contract.
It's
Or
3
5.
years, 2 renewals.
Yeah. So typically what happened with other contracts, we have the option of either to go and renew another 3 years or go for a new RFP.
No,
I
that's
would be-
okay. I don't need to get into it all right
Yeah.
now. I just wanted that. I was just asking that question. It came up, and
So we'll be discussing that probably sometime, probably in June, to see if we wanted to proceed with the renewal or to go for a new RFP. So we'll discuss it with staff, and then we'll come back. Either we prepare the RFP or we come back with a new agreement renewal for the James Moore.
yeah. And I think that correct me if I'm wrong, new rules require someone at least one person on the commission to be on. If there was an RFP, one person from the commission has to go out, be on the selection committee.
I think it's
Yes,
one
the-
commissioner that will
Yeah.
be selected from the commission to be on the selection.
Right. Okay. You answered my question. I don't want to get off in the weeds and into this discussion.
Most likely in June, when we present the budget, I think we'll probably make a decision at that time whether we want to go for a new one or renewal.
Right. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you,
And
Commissioner.
Commissioner McGurk, if I may, just on the HR, I'm going to ask him to bring some data in terms of the Florida Healthcare and the Blue Cross Blue Shield That would be presented also when we give you the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McGurk.
Didn't mean to jump and throw this to you, Natalia. It was just-
It's okay.
Commissioner Martin.
Hi, my question is, what's the purpose or the target market for the print and bot media? And
I think I can help. I've
Yeah.
been kibitzing with Phil about the penetration in the social media space, and website is very good. There's a percentage, I would estimate up to 40% of our residents that don't get their information there. And so I said, please look for another source to find a way to get the word out. This, I suspect, is what his alternative is. I don't mean it as an alternative. I just know that we're not servicing everybody, and I don't have the wisdom yet to say, do this. So I think he's going to try this.
I certainly think that probably every commissioner has a different source of information, and it's a very difficult time to figure out how to communicate information. But I will just put out that I don't think it's just the platform, it's also the way it's presented. And I know, so anyway, so I'd like to really
Look at what
think
that is.
about how this is done
good.
before we expend it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
perhaps a placeholder to figure out if we need to do that or an alternative.
This has not been selected yet. This is just an item to
I
be in the budget.
understand. I wanted to know what the purpose of it was, what we were what we were thinking about doing and why.
And whatever we do, we have obviously to come back to the commission, so we'll do that for inputs and also for other sources.
Thanks, Scarlett. That's it for me. I think it's Sally's.
Great.
Commissioner Perrine's turn.
Commissioner Perrine, thank
So
you.
some of this is overlapping what's going to be with the audit, but I just wanted to compliment you guys on a great audit that we just went through. And I know it's a lot of hard work that you guys do, and I'll thank you again in the next meeting. A lot of these things that I want to ask you relates to audit and actually HR and head counts. And one of the things in here is the city attorney. And I had asked Carrie in our briefing about that, and she explained the deputy city attorney to me. But what I don't know, and where my life in the corporate world with budgets and financials, we always had city benchmark reports to compare our city of equal size, 30,000 people, to other beach town cities, comparative with head counts, labor percents, labor by departments, that type of thing. A lot of times you have to pay for those. But I did some research and I asked our auditor if he could provide that for us, and he said he could. He said he has information, because to me this doesn't mean a lot. Do I know if that makes sense for us compared to other beach towns? And he said he would work on getting us that information for all of us to share, that he would try to get a beach town, since we're comparing apples to apples, which I like, because we need that with comparable population when it comes to head counts, what we're spending in labor. For example, if we're budgeting, which I think I saw something for planning consultants, does that mean you're taking away from staff? Because it might not be in this pool, and why would we be approving both, if we're not necessarily with the city attorney, but in other sections in the planning area. So something along those lines, comparisons with other cities, even if we have to maybe pay for that report. I don't know if you can get that. That would be very beneficial for us, I think.
Yeah, I've seen those reports. It's when it's favorable, unfavorable. In my previous job, we've done those internally, and it's not as comparable easy as it sounds. Like for us, We don't have utility commission, but it certainly has a lot of good information, so we'll try get it.
If we could
For sure.
see that before they recommend new staffing, and also compare with, your consulting things that you're putting in the budget or not putting in the budget, kind of need to compare all that.
Yeah, we'll try. Usually it's done right after we issue annual report.
Okay, and then for the audit team, he complimented you that you actually start working on this way in advance for the new audit. He did say, because we always switched audit companies every so many years, and he did say we don't have to do that, which the audit team comes into place, but the one thing they can do within their audit team is to have, or a new audit company is to have a different team within that company. If we want to keep the same company because of pricing or whatever, we can switch out the auditors. And he said there are a lot of options that we can do. You guys probably know that since you're old school people. But for us in corporate world, we always, after so many years, change the auditors
Yeah.
just to get a new fresh look. So.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Perrine. Any summation by the city manager?
I just want to remind the commission that this is really, it's a preliminary budget. We will be starting our meetings with the department starting tomorrow, with each department. And what I wanted to do this year is I wanted to, have a benchmark where we set that benchmark and then just go down from there. Based on the priority for the item requested, that will be evaluated by the city manager's office. And if we feel by discussing with the department that this item is a priority, then we will add it to the budget. If not, we'll either delay it or take it out. So we're going to be very conservative this year on the budget. So I'm just want to make sure that this is all preliminary at this point. So.
Thank you for those remarks. Natalia, echoing what Commissioner Perrine said, this audit came with no discrepancies and no advice, which is rare for anyone. And we could see the progress over the years that you have been here. So hats off to you and your team. I did have a few questions. On slide 6, the head count, is that budgeted or actual, or does it happen to be both?
You mean
In fiscal year 2023, is that
this one,
actual?
right?
Yeah.
This is positions.
So those are those are equivalent
The-
positions?
Yes, they're budgeted, but they're not all filled. Let's say,
So there is a variance.
yes, like for finance, we have a half a position, it's for risk manager. That position not filled. We try to, find one. I know we advertised. So finance is 9. I mean, actual. That's what you're asking, right, Mayor? So this is budgeted positions, but they're not filled. Not all of them.
Do you happen to know the variance in total? I don't need to know by department. Just is it 1, 2, 3?
Just for finance, everything else is.
Well, even
That's
the
what
city
they are.
manager's office we have not filled that position yet. That is the CIP coordinator that we're trying
That's
to
right,
hire.
yeah. So 2 now.
So those together make
We're
1.
advertising, so let me think. City manager 1.
Yep.
Coordinator, capital project manager, capital project coordinator, and finance half.
Okay,
Everything else is filled.
thank you. And the $307 for the commission, I thought was an outrageously high number based on what the salaries are, but I guess there are many other costs that are below
Yeah, you
the
have a
line.
operating budget, you do.
I got it, exactly. And again, as Vice Mayor says, brought up, we understand why it decreased, but it is a bargain. You explained why the decrease in personnel expense have to do with increase in health insurance, and then anxious to have a robust discussion about alternative means of communication on slide 8, be it whatever that is in addition to what we do now. Those are my comments. Again, congratulations and thank you. Anything else you want to say to us before we conclude?
Well, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it, and thank you for your continued support. of the city and finance department in particular.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your words. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Mayor, just a few words. When we had our finance director decided to leave for another job, and we hired Natalia and some of the other staff, they came in almost at the beginning of the budget. So hats off to them. They did magnificent job on preparing that budget during the pandemic. That's number one. Number two, they're all, probably three of them, they were new employees. The auditor at the time, they had quite a few comments. And since then, if you look at this, we have 0 comments. Thanks to our finance staff with the leadership of Natalia, they did an excellent job on addressing all the issues with the auditors and also to handle all the stuff that it's being thrown at them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a short, I mean, each of us got a debrief, and that was wonderful. I spent the trade space of time, since it was such a good audit, to talk about what he sees in other cities, other municipalities, enterprise fund versus the alternatives, and it was insightful. So, reserve the time to be able to call him again, and he's willing to be of counsel to us in the future, so we might want to consider that. Anything else from anyone? Okay, we stand adjourned.